Hello, everyone. It is October. Destiny Nichols. I'm very late on my reviews here, and I actually just did a review of The Court of Owls issue 1, but it wasn't recording, so let's get back into it now. Art is very reminiscent of, and I think it is done by the same artist that did the backups for Batman in the original Night of Owls story arc, so that's pretty cool. And it begins Gotham City, 1974. And an owl is saying, I like to imagine their faces when it happens. They had comforted themselves with the prevailing wisdom that we were nothing but a legend, a fairy tale they tell young dreamers to keep their hopes in check. But for one fleeting moment, we offer them a glimpse of the truth. They see that all hope is lost, that their dreams are all but ashes at their feet. Can you picture that exquisite dread, the way it radiates from their eyes? It's no longer a question of if, it's a question of when. And yes, we see a man runs into his house from a rainy night. It's rain is dripping down his head, and he's barging into his home, opening the closet. And his wife comes out and says, "Roger, what's the matter? You look like you've seen a ghost." He says, "My own. I've seen my own." And he says, "We have to leave the city at once, Cynthia. It's not safe, not anymore." He says, "Not safe, but you're the head of the police department." He says, "I'm not the head they want." Not the head they want? Who wants? I should have never started this investigation. Should have never gone chasing after that damn fairy tale. So when the son runs out, he says, "Daddy, I learned a poem today." He says, "That's fine, Harry. Where did I leave the damn bags?" Is he saying, how did it go? And the boy, he says, "Beware the court of owls that watches at all the time." He says, "No, ruling Gotham from a shadowy perch behind granite and lime. They watch you at your hearth, they watch you in your bed. Speak not a whispered word of them, or they'll send a talon for your head." And he says, "Harry, who taught you that?" He says, "What's the matter?" "Quiet, Cynthia." It's like, "Tell me, son. Tell me. You have to tell me who taught you that rhyme." He says, "He did." Let's see. DC Comics unleashes Court of Owls in exquisite dread. So, he says, that's how it was. That's how it's meant to be. So when it comes down to now, present day, the owl is telling this to his daughter, a little owl. He says, "Do you understand, darling?" And she says, "I think so, father. We are the shadow architects of this great city. We hold up the walls, the bureaucracies, the petty institutions. They give us power." He says, "But the city is falling, father." "Yes, they are, tearing it to the ground. But the Court of Owls has been challenged before many times in our history. We've seen our very existence, our very way of life threatened." She says, "Well, what will we do now?" "What we've always done. We'll dig into the foundation we've created, our arcane history." And you see, Justice League's dead, freaking people rioting in the streets, all that. It's very interesting to see how the court deals with a matter of this magnitude, such as freaking crime syndicate. So, go back again, freaking the Orchard Hotel, 1914. We use it to adapt. We use it to survive. And see, we're in the Orchard Hotel, and it's Mr. Orchie says, "I should hope not." And I said, "My God, I heard rumors of this, but I never imagined." Says, "I should hope not, Mr. Mayor. Rumors and legend are one thing. We wouldn't want the common people to know what really happens in the heart of my hotel." Says, "Are you calling me a commissioner, Mr. Orchard?" So I wouldn't dream of it. Says, "I wouldn't take it as an insult. Mind you, I was born in the Narrows to a pair of immigrants. I ran on the Popus ticket." And he says, "Yes, I know." And he says, "And I must say I'm taken aback at the opulence of this place. Your Eden. cost of that golden tree alone could buy a mansion for each Gothamite sleeping on the streets in the furs. And so it says, they are mine to do with as I please. The furs, you mean, not the Gothamites? Of course. It says, why did you ask me to come in, Mr. Orchard? Your disdain is palpable. I do not like to be strung along like some fool. It says, to the point. I like that. You are meeting with the heads of 5 national unions tomorrow, in an effort to bring them into Gotham City for the first time. Says, yes, I am. I'm afraid we can't allow that to happen. Says, what? Oh, you'll take the meeting, but we'll throw them out in the streets, outraged by their demands. Why on earth would I do that? Because this city survives on a sacred balance of power, one we have created over centuries. We will not allow upstarts and dreamers to upset that balance. We will do this because we told you to. And who the hell do you think you are? There's a who? Who? You see a whole bunch of owls appear in their mass in the Orchard Hotel, just surrounding him and such. And it's a very nice panel. You see, he's here in the Orchard Hotel, frightened, here at the meeting, frustrated, and here in the labyrinth, about to die, fearing for his life. So, I says, you can't do this to me, Mr. Orchard. You can't. He says, you served your purpose, Mr. Mayor. You should feel honored to be here in our labyrinth. You are part of our history now, truly a part of Gotham. And Al presumably killed him. So, come back to now, and the owl is taking his daughter through a tour of moving away a bookcase and going down an elevator. And I'd like to think that same elevator that was used in Batman issue 11, the beginning of issue 11. He says, come dear, down we go. And she says, will they find us here? He says, no, this is where we are safest. This is where we are strongest. She says, why? This is where it began. This is where it all began. This building looks very old, she says. Says, this building is nothing but a facade. It's been rebuilt a dozen times since we first struck ground here, and that is precisely the point. They knock us down, we rebuild from our roots. They think we're destroyed, but our true essence lies under the course of history. They misunderstand our power. They misunderstand our reach. Another flashback says Metropolitan Station 1891. Says, you see, a lady says, you shouldn't be doing this, Harry. I'm frightened. Mary, we've been over this. I saw them with my own eyes. It's just another rich man's social club. They sit around a table in Harbor House wearing their silly little masks, talking about their bank statements. Says, quiet. Do you want someone to hear you? Says, there's no one to hear me, Mary. Come now. I've told you that before. If you're not afraid, why not try to print this in Gotham Press? Because one of them probably owns Gotham Press. And that doesn't frighten you? You know the rhyme, speak not a whispered word. Says you're whispering too, Mary. So, he says, look, I have a photograph, an actual photograph of them in their masks, holding their secret meetings. You know what the Philadelphia Herald is going to pay for that? Enough for us to go west, build a proper life, start a family. And the trail guy says, all aboard, says, you're being hysterical. They have a kiss, and he says, I'll be in Philadelphia by nightfall. My expose will be in the papers by the end of the week, and I'll be back with enough money and a noose comes down, grabs him, chokes him. She says, Henry, it's freaking comes up, freaking owl, chokes him, and a man comes behind Mary and gives her the old chloroform treatment. It says, Gotham Gazette, photographer kills wife and hangs self in Metropolitan Terminal. Come back to now. The owl and his daughter are going through the corridors and says, are you still frightened? She says, yes. Is that okay? Am I allowed to be afraid? Says, of course, my dear. It's not the first of us to feel free. You're not the first of us to feel free. Fear. Strength often comes out of fear, through fear. Fear of what we can't understand. And another flashback. And the Narrows, 1862. feel what we can't control. And once again, beautiful artwork. And we see a massacre is taking place in this hotel or brothel house, maybe. And a man with a top coat and everything reminds me a lot of Moriarty or Dr. Watson from Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, and just people like almost crucified and just ripped to pieces, and it's Felix Harmon we see on the bed there, and the guy walks into the room and he says, I suppose you're amused at all this, Mr. Harmon. Papers have started calling you the Gotham Butcher, which he says it betrays a lack of creativity on their part. Did you see? They claim that I've killed 17. It's an insult. I've killed twice as many tonight. Say the paper shouldn't be calling you anything. You're a Talon. You do not kill unless we tell you to kill. So you promised me blood, and you have not provided. This city belongs to the Owls. This prey is fair game. So you will alert the world to our presence. This is all very rather tedious. Perhaps it's time to change the game. He squashes his head. So he says, Talon killed him? We go back to now. The daughter says that. Says, yes, my dear. And he was not the only one. It took us months to capture and destroy the Butcher. Felix Harmon's reign of terror caught the eye of national press. We had to spend a decade looking in the shadows. After that, we could rise again, up again. And we did. We became stronger than ever. And he says, these stories, we always win, don't we, Papa? He says, yes, my dear, because we are part of this city, as much part as the rivers and caves that run under it. We rebuilt this ourselves into the foundation. To eradicate us fully, you need to rip apart the foundation of this city. You would need to tear Gotham to the ground. Says, but isn't that what we're doing? They're doing? Isn't that what they're doing? How can our history save us now? Says, in the past we would simply use our control of the city's institutions of the city to quell the threats that arose against us. But these events are far more dire. That is why this time we'll have to go back to the very beginning to become what we need to be. We'll have to go to the one who started it all. In other words, says no. That's it. They come to this door, this huge door. It says, from the moment the riots began, I knew I had to become another person, a lady, owl, with a crossbow, saying, I had to come here. You can't do this. You can't bring back the first. You're not the only one of our brothers I've had to strike down today. You see 2 court members, on the ground dead with arrows in their heads. And his daughter jumps out of nowhere, stabs this girl to death with 2 knives, and freaking get a creepy shot of her freaking mask, black eyes. I don't know if you can see that, but very creepy. And she says she didn't understand, did she, Papa? No, she didn't. So that's whatever. I think that's just for added effect to, understand the gravity of what's going on here. He says, as they open the door, she says, what, Father? I'm imagining their faces when we unleash him back upon the world. The first, the most terrible weapon the court has ever used. The first Talon. Welcome to that door. See that? Yeah. So, find out in the pages of Talon what happens next. So, good issue. I have to give it a 8.5 out of 10. Really good. I'm liking the references. I'm always big on references as well as mythologies and whatnot. So I like the going back and seeing Felix Harmon, these other stories. I think one of the Talons in that was actually in Into the West, the Jonah Hex, All-Star Western number 9. That's the only one of the quarters of the tie-ins I did not get, but I believe they appear in this issue. So it's nice to see that. I also want to go back to Batwing issue 9, because the owl that Batwing, the then Batwing, David Zambia was facing, was supposed to be like this Talon that was killing everybody, was out of control, brought him back, had him face him. Then in Talon, Felix Harmon comes into the picture, baddest ever, freaking killing everybody, couldn't keep him under control. And now the first Talon, I'm thinking he's going to be like this ancient, almost Egyptian type maybe guy. Probably not, but it makes me very interested in see what happens. And I haven't been reading Talon, for what reason I do not know, but well, I know, money, but yeah, it makes me quite interested to see what happens next with the whole Court of Owls. Good issue. So yeah, thanks you guys for watching. Frickin' hey. Follow me, Tumblr, Twitter, like the Facebook page, that's new. Let me guys know what you thought if you bought this. Let me know what other Villains Month issues that you bought that you thought were cool, because a lot of them, to be honest, were a bit iffy. Especially since the artists and writers are not listed on the front. There, so little marketing ploy there, and hey, but that was a good issue. Yeah, thanks you guys for watching. Peace. See you next time.